In a previous video, I mentioned how I had picked up one of these Wera 1/4 inch sets that has a bunch of different attachments based on their adaptable Cyclop ratchet, where you can have it multiple angles here, end on diagonal or 90 degrees. And while I really like the adaptability of this set, one of the things about it that I really didn't appreciate until I actually tried it out was how good it was to use the hex bit ends as basically like a ratcheting Allen key. So how that really looked was that you've got the end where the sockets would go. You have this adapter piece comes in with your bit, and then imagine you're doing something up here. It's really easy to do whatever it is that you need to do with your socket head cap screw or whatever you need to tighten or unfasten. So shortly after actually using this in the lab, I realized that I needed something a little bit bigger and heftier and gruntier. So that's where this 3/8 inch socket came in, socket wrench. So I wanted something, I knew that I wanted something that could do that same kind of ratcheting behavior as I had with the smaller 1/4 inch, but I actually found it was a little bit fiddly to handle with this additional piece. You've basically got three things that you need to take care of, and once you put it all together here, there is a fair bit of play in that end piece. So I wondered whether the other options that Wera has would be more appropriate in this case. So first off, this 3/8 Cyclop a ratchet is just a really beautiful tool. Like the heft here and the handle, I really like the feel of this in the hand. It's got this mechanism to change the angle of the ratchet, obviously. That's basically the standard as you would see in any ratchet. I'm not 100% convinced on the durability of this little guy, but of course until it breaks I'll withhold judgment. Being Wera, I'd assume that it's pretty good. And the really small angle between the teeth on this ratchet really can't be understated. I don't have another ratchet here to give you a demo, but it's really quite something when you go back to what I would call like a normal ratchet and compare it, and they feel a lot more chunky, let's say. I guess on the same note there, the fact that it has these smaller teeth, I would imagine make it less robust over time. So I guess we'll see whether we have any problems with that going forward. The type of work that I do, I'm not using this every single day on really heavy duty gear. So for my own purposes, I'm not worried about the robustness there. And so I discovered these socket pieces where you can go directly from the square ratchet socket into what we see here as a hex head. So pretty clearly that removes a step in putting these on, taking them off, and we can go directly into then doing what we need to do. There's one other thing about these hex bits that I have started to appreciate, which is the little ball detent here, which you can see will hold in. I'm not going to be able to see that very well from the angle that we've got here, but it's not perfect. Things can still fall out, but basically you get a little bit more grip on your fastener than if it was just obviously if it was flush. Now I imagine in some cases you can get magnetize your bit. I haven't even checked actually to see if this is somewhat magnetized already. As you can see here, by and large, day to day, I work with stainless steel fasteners anyway, so the magnetized bits aren't very helpful for me. So I think this is obviously a little bit of a different approach. These bits that go from the square to the hex are certainly more expensive than if you were to simply need to buy replacement bits like this. But these little bits aren't that cheap either, so on the whole, in terms of a neat and what should be quite a robust setup for going forward, I'm really happy with this kind of arrangement. So the only thing that I kind of wonder whether Wera should bring out is basically a set which combines this kind of a setup here. They do have one which is for the 1/4 inch ratchet, but for what you get, it's really quite expensive, because for the most part, when you need these particular bits, you don't necessarily need one of everything. It's very unlikely that I would need to use, say, a Phillips head or a flat head with this kind of arrangement. So there we go. In short, we've got a very nice ratchet. We've got some particular ends on here which allow us to use a ratchet with the socket head cap screw style bolt, and that means that we can get into small places. We can do the whole ratcheting thing. I'm really quite happy with the feel and basically not just the feel but the function of this setup. So thank you very much. See you next time.